well, the question is how all this came about. It seemed to be a whole string of events that's led me to be back here in Suffolk, on the river where I used to mess about as a teenager. I had a punt on this river. All I wanted to do was shoot and fish, so I built a punt. We were in our teens, myself and my mate Paul. We used to come down here wildfowling. Never had a gun and punt, or never had a gun on the punt, but we did have a punt, and we used to come down here and see if we could get a duck or two. And that was only ever a duck or two. The other end of the river, down near Alde, is the Saltmarsh. We used to go wildfowling on there with my cousin John and other friends from the area. It's a stunning area. All I was interested in really was being a gamekeeper when I was that age, and I got married to my girlfriend Sue, and we are still married after 38 years. And when we got married, we went up to Norfolk and ended up there for 25 years on 2 different shoots. Anyway, the opportunity came back to come back to Suffolk, and we did. Over 10 years ago. Suffolk has always been home. That's no good pretending that Norfolk was ever home. I don't know quite what the difference is. I don't know quite why Suffolk and Norfolk are so different. The people definitely are. There's no doubt about that. I mean, we met some good friends up in Norfolk, but I was never home. Never home. And I don't mean the whole of Suffolk either. I mean the east coast, right on the east coast here. It's a lovely area, completely wild, and thank goodness it is. And thank goodness there's areas like this where you can't, well, hopefully they'll never be able to build and destroy it, although obviously we have got Sizewell Power Station just up the way. Anyway, the estate I was on, things changed there drastically, unfortunately, and suddenly my job was gone, and it was time to move on again, which came as a terrific challenge. Now, when you are a gamekeeper, your life is totally taken up with what you're doing, your job. It's a life, it's not a job. So it was very, very difficult for a start. Fortunately, my boss here, because I moved, is an absolute gentleman, and he gave me the opportunity to keep a part-time on here, and I also do some other work for him as well. And one of the things I asked for when I came down here, I said, is there any chance if I bought a boat, could I keep it on the river? And he said yes, no problem. And so we bought a boat, and we bought a boat off a gentleman, Mark Stevens, who has become a true friend, and he actually runs a company called Wild Way Boats, which we'll talk about later on. But basically it's been a godsend, because I've been able to do the things I used to do. I've been going out on the river. I've been going out on the river now 2.5 years in a boat called the Sweet Sue, named after my missus. And well, I haven't been going out. We've been going out, myself and my wife, and a lot of friends and family as well. And we had some absolutely lovely times. So the thing is that I thought, well, and I was always interested in photography and the countryside, the animals, the birds, everything about it. And I thought to myself, well, I could start documenting this, and so that's what I'm going to do. And I rather hope that you'll like and subscribe the channel, and that'll give me the interest to carry on doing this. I got a lot of footage that I've already taken actually, which I thought, well, it's wasted if I just keep it to myself. Some stunning countryside. And then I started to think, well, perhaps we ought to just elaborate on this, and we ought to cover not only the animals and the bird life and the countryside, but the immediate area around the river, and the people and the businesses and the farming and the sport and everything that revolves or has a contact with this river. So hopefully, and if you run a small business around the river and you want to get in contact, please do. And what we'll do is we'll come and give you a look, and that'd be quite nice. I've got 2 boats. One is on the Alde and one's on the Deben. The one on the Deben was free, and that's a lovely little boat. So the 2 rivers are going to be involved, and hopefully quite a bit of the east coast of Suffolk as well. So there you go. And I'm hoping to meet some characters along the way, and yeah, just give you a taste of this area. If you don't know the area, if you're from another part of the world, you probably don't know it. If you're from this area but you haven't had opportunity to come to this particular bit, I'll give you a little insight into what's here. And it truly is God's own county. There's no doubt about that. That's our little boat, the Sweet Sue, the little sailing dinghy out there. And we have been up and down this river. We've been fishing, we've been sightseeing. That's been great. Picnics, family events, all sorts. As you can see, the tide is going out at the moment. That end of the river is Alde. There's too many changes that are occurring in this area. It's just too much. Doesn't seem to be when you look at this. It looks like we're in the middle of nowhere, but unfortunately we all got to do our very, very best to protect what we have got left of Suffolk, and particularly this east coast, because it's being eroded, and it's being eroded for too many reasons. House building, roads, power station. It's just, you know, I don't know. But we got to see what it's like, show people what it's like, and show people what we have to offer here. Because we only have agriculture and tourism. And we've got to protect what we've got. Apart from what I've already mentioned, everything you know, about sailing, the sailing part itself is comparatively cheap with every other sport there is. There's some groups on Facebook actually giving boats away. You can join them, and they'll give you a boat so that can be disposed of. You can buy a boat for a couple of £100, and then you can get out and start enjoying it. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get out on a piece of river like this. You can have lessons, and you can spend money on courses and all the rest of it, but I was advised, and rightly so, that the best thing to do is actually get out there. Just get out there. You haven't got to go out there on a terrible drafty day when you're going to tip the boat over. You've only got to just wait for the right wind and the right conditions, and then go out and just be careful, be sensible. Take advice, take someone out with you who knows what they're doing. So you can be part of the sailing part very cheaply. Across there is Icon from Sandy Point, and as you can see, there is on the left hand side of the screen, there's part of an old river sort of river wall, sea wall, whatever you like to call it, which has been breached to flood out areas. And that's for wildlife, and the waders, of course, they absolutely love it, and that's very important, well, for the whole area and for everyone in the area, as a lot of people rely on a river. There's plenty of vantage points. You can also see how narrow the channel is. That is something you have to be careful of, but if the worst comes to the worst and you end up beaching up and grounding out, well, you just have to stay there until the next tide. There's no hardship. Just make sure you take some sandwiches and a flask. You'll be alright. Anyway, the next plan is to start talking about the river and the wildlife and what it actually has to offer. And I'll do that in the next one. And I'm going to start from Snake Mountains and talk about the old and the ore. I expect there'll be 2 or 3 parts of that, because it's quite a big river. Then in the distance there you can see Snake Mountains, and that's where we're going to begin from. So anyway, I'll say cheerio for now. Please like and subscribe, follow, and tell your friends. Cheerio.